Hey guys. Hey guys. Look, my name's Lloyd Phillips, host of the Life&Times podcast. Thanks for listening in here. Listen, here's what happened today. Apparently, possum identifies as a skunk. There's probably a bunch of other stuff. Guys wearing leather jackets in airports, and the plane has the heaters on. Look, stop trying to look cool in the airports. And I tell you what, like and subscribe. By the way, we are yet to have 100 subscribers. We can do a lot more with that. Once we get 100 subscribers, we're going to give away some free. I hate this word. Some free merch. Hey, we can use free merch. You know, merchandise. I don't say merch. That's for nerds. Anyway, look, love everybody. Let's get to the show here. Merch. Let's do some merch, guys. Hey, guys, we can get some merch. I love merch. Free merch. It's not free. I got to pay for the merch. Good Lord. He's like, I'm going to dish out some free merch, guys. It's not free to me. I'm going to have to work overtime to get this merch bought. Welcome back to the Life&Times podcast. I'm your host, Lloyd Phillips, back for another episode. It's so good to be back. I'm just riding solo right now. That's what I'm doing. I'm riding. They gonna catch me riding dirty. So I'm just riding solo. This past week was my birthday. I spent another birthday in my life, not at home. I did a lot of work out of town, and for a lot of my life, my adult life. It seems like I'm never home for my birthday, ever. And it's something else, by the way. And it's not like I don't want anybody to do it now, especially if you listen to the show. It's fake, but 43. I'm 43 now. I'm 43 years old, and nobody's ever thrown me like a surprise birthday party, but hundreds of people that I know, like, all right, we're gonna have a surprise birthday party. Now, it's not like I got to be like the guest of honor. It's not what I'm saying. But it's never happened. And most of the time, people don't even throw me parties. But in this recent past, I became friends with these people locally where I live here, and they throw birthday parties for me. It was a fine thing. So that happened the other day. Now, my friend texts, and he said, this is what I read. He said, hey, man, what's your favorite cake? Now, I know this guy. As a matter of fact, I don't even have to act like who is this guy. It's Leighton. It's the what do you call yourself? The president of editing. And so it's like podcast VP. So he said, man, what kind of cake do you want? And I'm like, I don't know, man. He's like, what's your favorite? Now, this is over text. I just worded it like it was a conversation. It's not. I said German chocolate and red velvet. That's what I said. And I sent it back in text. So that's it. We fast forward. He walks in. I don't know. It's probably 5. He had asked me probably 3 or 4 days before Saturday night. So he walks in and he has this very elaborate German chocolate cake, which honestly, because I know he likes to cook and he's really good at it, I knew he was going to come in with something elaborate. And so he sets it down and I'm all excited and my wife's there. And I said, hey, Jenna Lee, I don't remember how this part goes, but something like, hey, look at this German chocolate cake. And so she's like, I said, do you like German chocolate? Because it seemed like I remember she doesn't like coconut. Like I totally didn't think about that when he asked what my favorite was, because to be honest, he asked me what my favorite was. And that's what I told him. So I don't really care at that point who likes what. It just means it's more for me if you don't like coconut, right? That's my take. And I say out loud, do you like that? She says, no. And Leighton looks at me and he's like, what? And I'm like, what? He's like, I asked you what her favorite cake was. Now, I thought he was playing, and we were like trying to make eyes at each other. You know how like when you got that buddy, like you understand each other with the look. I was like looking at him, but he wasn't doing any look that I recognized. And I'm like trying to read him, and I'm like, is he like trying to punk me to be funny? And I'm just not getting it. And he's like, I asked you what her favorite was, but he's still looking at me serious. No, none of those friend eyes, like where you're on the same page, nobody else is. And that was it. And it was like kind of silence after that. Not like dead silence. People were talking in the background. So he's not giving me anything. And so I look at my phone because now I'm getting mad that he's trying to act like he sent me a text and said, what's your wife's favorite birthday cake? Because that's what he said. He's like, I asked your wife's. So I pull it up. No, he straight up asked me what my wife's favorite birthday cake was. Like, I don't know. And to be honest, I probably shouldn't even say this. I have no idea what her favorite cake is. I literally don't. I don't. Chocolate, maybe vanilla with chocolate icing, maybe that yellow cake. My mom always made yellow cake with chocolate icing. Like that was the treat. And sheet cake. My mom would make sheet cake and cake with the yellow cake with chocolate icing. I didn't even know that there was other kinds of cake because that's it. That's all we did. And she was real proud of the sheet cake, but the sheet cake always tasted like powdered sugar and flour because that's all she ever put on the bottom. And I'm not mouthing, Mom. Yeah, I went down my hole. Right? It was like I ate it because it was better than no sheet cake. But I got to be honest, I think it sucked. I mean, I liked it. You made it for us, but there were other cake options out there, and I feel like she failed as a mom for only making 2 kinds of cake my entire life. That's it. She don't even know it. I don't think she even. That's a lie. Nope, she didn't make German chocolate cake. She made German chocolate brownies. I'm still sticking with she only knows 2 kinds of cake. Anyway, so that's it. I don't even know what her favorite is. I probably should feel bad. Maybe I did a little because, it was going to be for her. But since she wasn't going to eat it, turns out the whole cake was for me. Other people don't like coconut. The whole cake's gone. And that was yesterday. It was last night. It's already gone. So, well, there's a tiny piece left. But, yeah. Happy birthday to me. And also my friends, threw me the birthday. They included my wife. Mine was Tuesday. Hers was yesterday. But since my birthday came first and I was out of town, it was more of a party for me, I think, than her. And, yeah, it's a good time. What did I do? Oh, yeah, I watched fantasy football, which I'm pretty hot on right now, everybody. It's like I'm unstoppable in this fantasy game. But the weather's changing, so it's nice. But the weather just changed, like right now. And for anybody that listens, currently during the week, I'm in a desert. It's a desert environment. It's not like I'm in the Mojave or anything, but it's pretty close to Carlsbad Caverns. I don't know what the desert's called. It's like the north end of it. But it's still hot there. Like you still sweat during the day. So I was in the airport in Midland the other day, and I get confused by people. I've recently said in the recent past in these episodes, sometimes I'm negative more than I should be, but I'm really just negative about stuff that not do I just think that it's dumb. I think most everybody else does also, but like some people, I think they get online. Here's what I think some people do. I think they get online. I think they look up celebrities and then they say in their head, I'm going to try to dress just like them. So either, well, just because you think you're cool or you want to make people think you're a celebrity. It's the only thing I can come up with. It's 95 degrees outside, and there is a guy who's wearing a black leather coat that I literally wouldn't wear unless it was like 35 degrees outside. He's got a black leather coat on, and he's wearing sunglasses, and he's got diamond earrings, and he's got skinny jeans on, and some kind of shoes that he thought was fancy. I just don't get it. I don't get the look. Here's what I know about American Airlines right now. I don't think they have air conditioners. They run heaters the whole time. So this guy's going to get on the plane, but he's not coming off the cool. I know he's sweating under that jacket, and he just continues to wear it. I can't even feel the air in my face. It's like I got to fan it to my face, and he's on there with the jacket. Nobody cares. Like nobody's talking to him. It's not like girls are like, hey, man, you look so awesome. Cool coat. It's 95, moron. Like I don't understand why people do that. It's never been my thing. Now, some people talk to me. They're like, well, sometimes you try to fancy it up. No, I mean, honestly, my style's not even fancy. You want to know what I actually wear? I wear fancy pants, fancy shoes, and when it gets cool outside, I basically wear that and a t-shirt with a scarf. That's it. That's the fanciness. Like it's called accessories. I do accessories, Leighton. Just like Leighton made this cake. He accessorized the top of it with coconut. It's fantastic, by the way. I'm so glad nobody else ate it. Well, actually, some people were eating it. Here's the thing. I shouldn't say this out loud because, it was a birthday party and everybody's there, and the food, everybody made food awesome. Blake made his secret chili, the secret chili. Well, is it weird that when people are cutting into my cake, that in my head it makes me mad that they're eating more than I think they should? Like in my head, I'm like, hey, you don't want all that, so I can take that. That's mine / my wife's birthday, but more mine because I think I knew what he meant. He said my wife, but I think he meant it was actually for me. Anyway, what was I even talking about? I don't know. Yeah, people looking cool. Well, anyway, so on the back, I'm going to blow the name of it. But this group of guys got on. They were just they didn't have anything fancy on. Nothing. They didn't have jewelry on that was fancy. They didn't have but they all kind of looked the same. And a kid sat right next to me. And this is how we started talking. He tried to shove this, I don't know. It was a very large bag, and he was trying to shove it in between the seat and his legs. Well, the bag was wider than the gap, and he kept trying to push it down, and I watched him do it for like 3 minutes, and then eventually, and normally I don't talk to people. If you listen to the show, you've heard it. I don't talk to people on the plane just because I don't want to have extra conversations, because I really just want to watch movies, and I'm scared if we talk too much, then they're going to keep talking, and then I got to keep talking, and I don't want to talk. I just want to watch movies. I don't care. I know I've said this before. Like, you're not going to know each other personally. It's not like you're going to be best friends. So I watched him struggle, and finally I'm like, hey, you know what I'd do? He didn't get mad or anything. I was like, hey, you know what I'd do? I was like, I'd just probably put that bag right up there where the bags go. And he said, oh, and he looked up. He's like, yeah, thank you. I didn't think of that. I didn't. That was all he said. But I'd be like, yeah. So he sat down and he was comfortable. Well, because he got on with those guys, I heard somebody behind me ask one of those guys, are you playing at the BOK? Now, they weren't playing at the BOK, but that was the question. So then I said, hey, man, what do you do? And he told me that he was the camera guy. He's the photographer for a famous a Latin American band. And so, he's like, you probably won't know who it is. And he was right. I'd never heard of him, but what he didn't know is that I was familiar with that music because my wife is from Corpus Christi, Texas. I lived down there for a while. I listened to that music often. And so I'm asking him. I'm trying to find it here. So I said, yeah, what's the name of the band? Look, if I blow it, I don't speak Spanish, but Los Gemelos de Sinaloa. Los Gemelos de Sinaloa. I think that's what it is. So he's telling me he's the photographer for these guys. Well, he pulls it up. So and then we start talking about the podcast and these things. And then he's like, oh, yeah, I do all these shots. And he pulls up YouTube videos. 54 million views, 40 million views, 38 million views. Like, these dudes that were on this plane are famous. But nobody on the plane even knew who it was, but they didn't realize, like, these guys are like nominated for Latin Grammy Awards, which I thought was pretty cool. Oh, I told him because I knew some Cumbia Kings, and that's what fired him up. I was like, hey, you know Cumbia Kings? He's like, yeah, man, I listened to them my whole life. That was what started the thing. So Nino, if you're listening, good to hear you here, Nino. You never know. You never know who's going to be on there. Talk to the kid for an hour. But unlike I said previously that it annoys me, it didn't annoy me at all. I was like fascinated by his stories. The kid's 22 years old and he travels only on the weekends. And they go play at clubs every weekend, and then he flies back to LA during the week. That's it. That's all he does. And he says it's the greatest job ever. So he asked me what I did. I told him, he's like, man, I'd like to get into something like that. I'm like, bro, you're 22 years old and you're traveling with a famous band. Like you're in charge of these guys, of what you do for them. He travels all over the world, and he's like, he wants to do what I do. Have you been to Carlsbad Caverns Not even to the caverns. Have you been 40 miles from Carlsbad Caverns out in the desert? Have you ever done that? Well, there's better things to do. I can tell you that. I mean, that's what I think anyway. I mean, it's not, I don't know everything. It just seems like if I was 22 years old and I wasn't married and I flew around and I was at concerts every weekend, seems pretty cool to me. Sorry for the interruption, everybody. Sorry for interrupting the show. I was just going to tell you, hey, I need you to know that people say, where'd you get that lavish beard? And I say, well, the lavish beard I grew because I'm a lavish beard grower. But the reason it's so silky smooth is because I use Winchester Ranch Beard Co. products. Top oils on the market. I've been using them for years, or last year because it just started. But that's why my face looks so good. Tell your friends and use that. Okay? Talk to you later. Forgot one. American Survival Co. Everybody, American Survival Co. They're the top survival school in the entire world. I know when everything for my survival needs, that's how I use American Survival Co. Go check out their website at americansurvivalco.com. Get all the details and information about team building exercises and all the things that you can do. It's really an awesome place. And the two guys who own the place, they also are the host of the new Netflix show, Snowflake Mountain. And that's awesome. Go check them out. Now back to the show. Love you. So somebody approached me today about emceeing an event. Like it's a charity event. And the fact that they asked me to do it, that's nice. And that's all cool. But I started thinking do I want to do, is this a thing that I do? And I do. I do want to do it. But I hope that a room full of people that probably aren't all my age, and I'm probably a little louder than most of them, I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know if it's going to be are my jokes going to be, I don't know. First of all, I don't even write jokes. I just tell stories. And, do they want to hear my stories? We'll see how it goes. So the reason I'm telling you this is because my friend, I apparently had emceed the gig last year, and he's not going to be there. Somebody who's obviously more, his life is more planned out than mine because he already knows in February he's not going to be somewhere. I don't know where I'm going to be on Friday, so I don't So he's like, February 4th, can't do it. Going to be in California, whatever that means, and so. He said, hey, do you know Lloyd Phillips? You should get him. And she's like, who's Lloyd Phillips? He's like, well, you live in Verdigris. She's like, yeah. He's like, he's the announcer. She's like, oh, okay. Yeah. I hear him all the time, but I never met her, but we're Facebook friends, I know that. So when I met this lady this evening, I'll spare you the name, but she's like, oh, hi, my name is this. I was like, oh, I'm Lloyd. And I was like, we're Facebook friends. I knew that. I didn't remember her name, but I knew we were Facebook friends. So we talked. I guess I'm going to do this thing. I don't know. It's a charity auction. And then I started thinking, okay, well, I'm emceeing the thing. And then I go back and I look on Facebook and I find some of the images of the thing. And, it's basically like they're dressed like speakeasy people. I kind of felt like that's how they were. I felt like some people missed the mark according to photos. And, but the MC last year donated an item. So then I thought, well, am I supposed to donate an item? And then I don't even know what to donate. What do you donate? I don't know. I don't even know. What kind of items do you donate for charity events? Being on one of my podcast shows, people at that event would be like, oh, wow. Look, I'm on the Life&Times podcast. That's cool. Yeah. Can you just come over to Leighton's house and we'll, that item ought to go for $36. I know I'm excited for that one. I'm really helping the foundation out with that thing. Who knows? But somebody asked me. Look, man, I've spoke at events before. I've spoke at conferences, meetings. I about said get-togethers. I spoke at a couple get-togethers. never a foundation, never that. And there's a room full of people that are probably more serious than I am. They're probably going to be a little smarter than I am, and we'll see what happens. It's basically, I feel like I'm going to be Norm Macdonald at the White House press dinner. That's what I feel like's about to happen when I get there. So we'll just see how we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's going to be in February. So I'm always looking for ideas. Text me for whatever I got to donate. Something tells me I'll just buy an Alexa for like $12. Donate that. It ought to bring the big bucks. At least double. It's got to at least be double. If I bought one of those $12 Alexas, it's got to go for $25. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Speaking of things that I'm going to donate, actually, I'm not going to donate. Actually, I don't even want to tell you. I'm going to tell you, but I don't want to tell you. I want it to just be me. I want later me to look like I've came across something. So for anybody that doesn't know, NFTs are non-fungible tokens. And even right now, you're like, what is that? It's basically like crypto art. And even though that's probably not the best explanation, that's probably the best explanation for somebody who has no idea what it is. So it's like digital art, and you own it. It doesn't just have to be paintings. It's all digital. Well, starting lineups have came out. And so if you are somebody my age, I know you know what starting lineups are. You could be a little older, a little younger, probably do. I don't know how many girls had starting lineups. Probably none that I knew, because it was football, baseball players, basketball players, hockey, maybe hockey. And so, they remade them. And back in the day, they probably were like $8 when I was a kid. Inflation these days, I'm just completely making up. Maybe they'd be $16 in today's inflation. Well, they just took this one off into left field. They're remaking starting lineups. They're $50 a piece. Now, you get, supposedly, for anybody that pre-orders these things, you get these NFTs, these non-fungible tokens, this digital art. And so I'm excited to get it. Now, I don't know if it's going to be worth millions. I'm going to guess it's not. I'm 100% going to tell you it's not going to be worth millions. But I ordered a couple from people I don't even like LeBron James, like Leighton's favorite. I don't like that. He's not my favorite player, but I ordered it. And then I'm going to, I'll be trading NFTs with people who don't even know what that means. So this past week for my birthday, my cousin Chris got me. He had Pete Rose. He got Pete Rose to tell me happy birthday. So if you listen to the show, we always are like, put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. So he contacted Pete Rose, and he had him wish me happy birthday, which I thought was pretty cool. But Pete Rose was just reading what my cousin wrote. Pete, you're going to have to work on your reading to verbal skills, because it sounded like this. He's like, "Hi, Lloyd. I'm Pete Rose. Wishing you a happy birthday and good luck on announcing your cousin Chris and Pete Rose think you should definitely put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame." Now, right there. Now, Pete, Pete, you are Pete. So you don't have to say Pete. You can be like, "Hey, your cousin Chris and I want you to put me in the Hall of Fame." He didn't say that. He read it word for word. Pete only speaks in the third person, I think. I think he third person me, is what I think. He's like, "Yeah, my name's Pete Rose. If you could put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame, Pete Rose would love it. Thanks. Happy birthday, Pete Rose." That's what he said. That was my thing. But I was very excited to do that, because now I just said it. He spoke how I thought he spoke. It wasn't that. He's got to work on it. But when you show people, like my grandpa's like, "Wait, why is Pete Rose telling Lloyd happy birthday? Like, yeah, because I'm the second greatest hitter of all time. I'm not. I know I'm not. I made that up. I'm really not. But he's still not in the Hall of Fame. And, it was my birthday, and he sent it, and that was good. So right now, I totally skipped something. I just talked about one set of friends that like took me out. I had a whole other set of friends that took me out before the birthday that was on Sunday. The one I think earlier, I think I got my words confused. I had a group of friends take me and my wife out on Saturday, and then another group took us. We had this cookout on Sunday. So I think earlier I said Saturday. Really, that was on Sunday. The group on Saturday, we went to this place called Nola's, and I don't know if you've been to. Well, I'm talking like this is a local podcast, but for anybody local, if you ever been to Nola's, if you haven't, it's great. If you have, you know, and it's like Cajun food, and it's unbelievable. So I love the place. That's where we went. And I'm just going to tell you, my meal was, it was almost $200. It was like, whatever it was. But this part's going to sound gross, but I was thinking here. I told you what the meal costs. I'm going to go back to that in a second. We're walking into the restaurant. And as we walk in, I see, whatever. I see vomit on the ground. And then we walk like 12 more steps, and I see another pool of it, just side by side. Well, when I walk up to the front door, there's a guy who looks like he's about to vomit. Not even the same guy, because this guy, I watched him walk out of the restaurant. So it wasn't even the guy that was on the sidewalk. So then I thought, wait, we got two vomiters? Like, what's going on in this place? By the way, the place is great, and it still is great, and there's nothing wrong with it. But that was my thoughts walking up. But initially, I'm like, I don't know if I want to eat here. Apparently, something's going on in the kitchen today is what I thought. And fast forward, the guy who walked out of the restaurant, he didn't vomit. So he still got these two pools. Well, after I paid for a meal and I walked out, I just thought to myself, how mad is somebody that just wasted $187? It's like, yeah, I ate the meal. Tasted good. Now I'm not full. Let's go eat again. It was $187 right there. It didn't look like $187. It didn't look like that, but it probably was. Anyway, I don't even know why I told you that story. Oh yeah, because I didn't want to say one group of friends didn't take me, one did. Yeah, they both did, which is really awesome. Where was I going with that? I remember where I was going with that. So because I'm fresh in the minds of that group of friends, the next day after the meal, he has one group there, a husband and wife. He has a trap. I don't know why he's trapping animals. To be honest, I still don't. He lives in the country. And if you have possums or raccoons or skunks or I don't know, whatever else you trap, but you're in the country. Like they just go through. Oh, he has chickens. I guess, do possums eat chicken eggs? Okay, well, I learned something this week. I didn't know that. I guess that's probably why he's trapping. I probably shouldn't have went that route because it was funnier when I just thought he was trapping for no reason, and he's not a trapper. It's not like he's like a pro trapper and he's trying to make a possum skin hat. It's not so, but he's trapping these animals. So he sends a text to the group that had went to eat the night before, and he's like, actually, let me backtrack. His wife sent my wife a text first, a couple hours previous to what I was about to say. And it said, hey, it'd be funny for the podcast is if Lloyd would come help my husband pull a skunk out of the trap, because there's a skunk in the trap and it would be funny content. Well, listen, in my head, I don't think it would be funny content. And I'm going to tell you why. I know, if I got sprayed, maybe you would laugh, but I'm not going to get that far. Like, you're not going to get me there. So really, she was like trying to subliminally get me over there to basically me get it out of the trap. I'm not getting it out of the trap. I didn't trap the thing. I don't trap skunks. You live in the country. Why are you even trapping animals? They just walk through your yard. It doesn't make any sense, right? That's what I think. So now, if he actually called me though, and he said, "Will you come help me do it?" As long as it was before our birthday party, yeah, I would have, just because he asked me. That's what I'd do that for any of my friends. But the subliminal asking, I was like, no, because I'm not going and getting sprayed by a skunk. So we asked the group, hey, does anybody know how to get the skunk out of the trap? Now I'm back on this. Now it's the first time he asked his wife. Whatever, man, I'm rambling. So they go to help him get the skunk out of the trap. So they're going to like take a blanket. They're going to throw it over the thing where the skunk can't see him. And then they're just going to take it to a field and let it out. That's it. Like, that's all they're going to do. So my friends show up. One's got a blanket in hand. Like, all right, let's do this. And they go look at the trap. It's not a skunk. It's a possum. There's a possum in the trap. It's not a skunk. Which means you're not going to get sprayed like it's nothing. But they're like, I thought I saw black and white. They panicked so much that something was in the trap that they thought it was a skunk. It was a possum. I don't know if you've looked. You got to pull these things up side by side. They don't look the same. You know what I think it was? I think that it was a skunk. I think that it was a possum that identified as a skunk, and by that. They're like, well, you're not going to spray me. I think that's what happened. I'm just saying that there was like a meltdown and it wasn't even a skunk. I've never been sprayed by a skunk. I've never even almost been sprayed by a skunk. I did hit one accidentally on the highway, and it skunked me out one time. But like, it was my vehicle, it wasn't me. But yeah, I've never done that. But I don't want to get, Anyway, look, guys, I'm going to hop off here this week. So many activities are coming, so many different activities. And, I always say, oh, somebody's going to be on the show. They probably will if you can make the time. And it's going to be interesting. And if not, we got to get, Leighton will be on here. Matt Climas, wherever he's at. We don't know where Matt Climas is. Who knows what happened to him? Probably getting yelled at by his wife. So I'm going to get off here. Put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame, everybody. Love you guys, and we'll talk to you next week.